Good morning, everyone. My name is Ashu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Arya Institute of Engineering Technology and Management. Today we will see cloud service models. Let's start with cloud service model. As we know that there is a three-layer architecture that we have. One is infrastructure as a service. In short, we know IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and software as a service, SaaS. So as we see, here is multiple layers that belongs to infrastructure as a service. It starts from the facilities, hardware, abstraction layer, connectivity network, and interfaces. So these all that layers that belongs to infrastructure as a service. Once we consider infrastructure, infrastructure means a type of a skeleton is going to be provided, and that skeleton, once we have a skeleton, then only we can deploy and execute or even develop any application which is web based or enterprise based, or run any software to fulfill our expectation and all that sorts of business operations. So infrastructure is simply a skeleton is going to be provided. Second is that platform as a service. Platform as a service, that this is the integration towards that middleware. So we have a skeleton. Now we should have certain platform so that on which we can run certain softwares. So that is platform as a service. Next is the software as a service. Software as a service, as we are seeing that data, metadata, data about data, application softwares, application program interfaces, and presentment. These are different layers that belongs to software as a service. When we consider the accessibility rights towards this structure, that generally what happened when we talk about the infrastructure as service, yes, we have certain utilities right from that data towards that server and virtualization. But platform as a service, we can deals with the data in certain applications. But in software as a service, most of these rights, only the data is going to be that store on certain location that is under the accessibility, and as per the rights of that client, but rest of the things belongs to the that provider. So this is very important when we talk about the security point of view. It's very important that this cloud service model should follow that CIA, that model, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability model. So this is very, very important for this structure to follow that sort of thing. Now, first is that in the briefings that the public, that is public is a very cloud infrastructure is available to the general public owned by that organization selling cloud services. So definitely if it is in public domain, but we require this security stuff over there because of public utilization point of view. So there are so many things that under the security concern that comes. Second is the private, that the cloud infrastructure for single organization only may be managed by the organization or a third party on or off the premises. So it is not beyond that area which we can say, which is beyond the sensitive. We can say that private is for the sensitive information, and all sorts of that crucial that operations are going to take place under business processing units and rest of that development units. So this is very, very crucial stuff, that private is very important. Next is the hybrid, which is again that the combination of the public and the private. So cloud infrastructure shared by several organizations that have shared concerns, managed by organization or the third party. Community is generally for pool of people in a company or outside the company. So it's a combination of different cloud types again, but it's specific for the community, special purpose for fulfilling special purpose in the company or organization and in the government and private sector. So there are these four terms on the basis of that cloud computing resources distribution occurs. Next is the chief information officer's cloud concerns. One is the security. That is the main concern. In lots of so many concern, we have this security, availability, performance, cost, and standards. Each one of them is very, very important. Like standards, to follow a standard, definitely when an organization looking for certain standards, because of that quality product and quality assurance as well as quality control. So that mechanism is going to be follow up once any organization follow a certain standard. Next is the cost is also very important, because cost optimization definitely deals with that, what sort of services are going to be provided by third party to the client, to the organization. So they are interested only to invest such much amount that they are taking as a service utilization. So cost is also a very key factor. Next is the concern factor is the performance, because without performance we cannot interact our clients, because end of the day company runs due to their clients, due to their customers. If they are not there, definitely their performance is going to be degraded. They will not be satisfied with the services they are going to provide, so they have to rethink the concerns. Definitely performance definitely indicates that how many clients and customers are using that organizations and companies services. So performance is a key factor for company growth. Next is the availability. This is quite relate with all these terms relate to each other. Availability, it means that whenever customer requires any service, whenever customer requires any data, definitely that should be available to the customers. That service should be available to the customer, even though in peak hours or even though in off hours, because 24 by 7 by 365 is very important for a company point of view, if they want to be at the top of that list of their service provider as deployment or development or troubleshooting companies. So this is very important that availability should be there. And the security is one of the most important concern, because of security definitely interacts or appreciates your services and all sorts of that performance you do, because every client and customers demands for the security of his or her data. So security is major concern. One of that major concern that chief information officers or higher management should follow in the administration, that what sort of policy should be deployed, what sort of awareness should be deployed within the company, so that customer data remains safe and secure. So this is very important. These are the concerns. Now, the next is the shared security responsibility. Service providers and consumers' roles related to the cloud model are inverse to each other. So here is a service provider, as we saw these software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Then we have this layered architecture. So this is application platform architecture, virtual infrastructure, hardware, and different sorts of facilities. And here is a consumer. So both are opposite to each other as per this diagram. That is the SaaS, then PaaS, then IaaS. So if you look at this diagram, you will see here that IaaS having more weightage than compare PaaS and SaaS. But when we talk about the service provider point of view, SaaS having more than PaaS and then IaaS. In between this, there is a layered architecture which having different sorts of layers, different facility layer, hardware resources, virtual infrastructures, VM concepts, and the platform architecture and the applications. So this is that shared security responsibility briefings, that when we try to utilize those cloud vendor services in our organization or company. So this is from this session. We have covered cloud service model, little bit briefing about the public, private, hybrid, and community clouds. And then we saw major concerns of the chief information officers, as well as we see that shared security responsibility, how it is looking when we see through that deployment of the cloud services. Thank you so much being with us.